What's up, YouTube world? This is Steven again. It is currently 10:09 a.m. on March 19th of 2022, and I would like to welcome you all to my 14th Storytime with Steven. I meant to do one last month, but I forgot to do one, but since it's March, I have a very special Storytime with Steven for you that was, quite frankly, probably one of the best moments, if not the best moment of my entire life. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get right into it. So, as y'all know, I am an alma mater of VCU, home of the Rams, and I am going to be telling you the story about when VCU made a pretty damn good run in the March Madness tournament. And like I said, it's probably one of the best moments, if not the best moment of my entire life. Alright, so let's go right into it. So this was when I was a freshman at VCU. It was 2011. I was 19 at the time. And we were playing Old Dominion, our biggest rival, Old Dominion, in the CAA, or Colonial Athletic Association championship game at the Richmond Coliseum. And we ended up losing that game, unfortunately. And the CAA is usually a one-bid conference. Usually the one bid goes to the person who wins the conference championship, and in that case, that was ODU, or Old Dominion University. And turns out that wasn't the case for this one. Selection Sunday, or the selection show on Selection Sunday, eventually came, and VCU was the final team in the big dance. And this was the inception of this is the inception of what they call the first four. If it was not for the first four, we would have not gotten in. But we ended up getting in over the likes of, say, Virginia Tech and Colorado and colleges and universities like that. And what happened was the selection committee put us in, but the so-called experts like Jay Billis and Dick Vitale and all those people just completely trashed VCU. VC who? They should be nowhere in this tournament. And Jay Billis was being such a fucking dick. He was being like, I'm not saying I don't care how the kids feel, but I don't care how the kids feel. This is a competition. We're supposed to make the right decision. And these are his words too. And then he goes, these were bad decisions. And we talked about the eye test. This one fails the laugh test. Well, we're about to find out who's going to fail the laugh test. So, the first four game that VCU was in came. We were playing USC out of the Pac-12, and we ended up beating USC. I think it was 59-46, I believe. Yeah, I think we beat them by 13, and that punched our ticket into the actual real big dance. We got past the qualifying game, and now we were in the actual real bracket. So, we were an 11th seed, and we were playing 6th seed Georgetown, and we ended up beating Georgetown by around 20 or so, maybe 17 or 18. Do we still not belong? So we beat a Pac-12 team. We beat a Big East team. We were going to be playing a Big Ten team next, and that Big Ten team was Purdue, the Boilermakers. We ended up beating them 94-74. Do we still not belong? That punched our ticket to our first ever Sweet 16. So we beat a Pac-12 team, we beat a Big East team, and we beat a Big Ten team. We were facing an ACC team next, and that was 10th seeded Florida State. We were facing Florida State in the Sweet 16. This one was pretty close. It was tied, and we ended up going to overtime. I believe the score was like 72-72, I believe, in overtime. And we were tied with about 8 seconds left. And when we ended up passing it in, we almost got a 5-second violation call, but we ended up passing it in right before, maybe like 1 or 2 tenths before the 5-second violation was called. And one of our players, Joey Rodriguez, was the one who did the inbound pass. He bounced it into another player called Bradford Burgess, and he laid it up and in, and there were 7 seconds. Florida State dribbled it down. They drove inside, They passed it back out to someone who was behind the three-point arc. He shot the ball, and it got blocked with 0 on the shot clock. And the kicker was, even if the shot went in, it would have not counted because he didn't release it in time anyway. But that was such a kicker that it got blocked. We beat a Pac-12 team, a Big East team, a Big Ten team, and now an ACC team in overtime. That was awesome. And that punched our ticket to our first ever Elite Eight. And in the Elite Eight, we would be facing our biggest challenge yet, a number 1 seed, and that would be the Kansas Jayhawks. And ironically, I have Kansas winning the entire thing this year. I have Kansas winning the entire thing in my bracket this year. But let me get back to my story. So, I was at a watch party at the Stuart C. Siegel Center, which is where VCU plays all their home games. Some people just call it the Siegel Center. Some people just call it the Stew for short. I call it the Stew. But I was at a watch party at the Stew, and I was with a couple of my friends, and one of my friends, she was saying, no one should be doubting VCU at this time. If they doubt VCU, that's just going to fuel their fire to win this game even more. So it tipped off, and Kansas ended up scoring the first 5 or 6 points. And I was thinking, I believe in VCU, but it's Kansas. We ended up going to halftime with like a 10 or 15 point lead. I'm not kidding. This was so good. And I loved it when Charles Barkley, or as I called him, Barles Charkley, kept picking the teams to beat VCU. He picked USC. We beat them. He picked Georgetown. We beat them. He picked Purdue. We beat them. He picked Florida State. We beat them. He picked Kansas. I think you know where this is going. Kansas went on a run, and they were within either 2, 3, or 4 points of VCU, and I was freaking out. I was thinking, shit, don't fuck this up, VCU. This was the first time a team that season scored more than 70 points against Kansas. We beat them not only with a score of 71, but we beat them by double digits, 71-61. We went all the way from the first 4 to the final 4. We beat a Pac-12 team, Big East, Big Ten, ACC, and now Big 12 team in number 1 Kansas. I was ecstatic. That was the best moment. I still think that's the best moment in my entire life, when VCU made it from the first 4 to the final 4. We ended up playing Butler, or as I call them, Buttler, in the final 4, and I think you know why I call them that. We did get ahead 35-32, but since then, our shots weren't falling. We were just getting gypped whenever we were shooting our shots, and we ended up losing that game. We ended up losing to, I think they were in the Horizon League at the time, so they were a mid-major, Buttler. And what pissed me off more than that was they were facing UConn, or Connecticut, in the national championship, and the score in the national championship was 55-41. We would have beaten either of their asses if we made it to the national championship game. We would have gone all the way from the first 4 to the national championship. But hats off to VCU. They made it from the first 4 to the final 4. Ever since then, there was one other team in UCLA that made it from the first 4 to the final 4. And they are absolutely on my shit list. It was incredible. It was the best thing that has ever happened to me. I don't think in the past 11 years, since I'm 30 now, and this happened when I was 19, that there's been anything that magical that has happened to me since then. That was so good. But that was my story time with Steven for today. Sorry I didn't do one last month. I was just kind of busy getting ready for my new job, and it just didn't occur to me. But yeah, I'm just glad that I could do a really good one in the best time of the year, March Madness. And that's about all I have. That's about all I have to say for today. So hit me up in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about my story time with Steven, and let me know what some of your favorite college teams are and where you went to college, and if your teams made it to like the Sweet 16, Elite Eight, or Final Four. But yeah, I hope you like this story time with Steven. It's definitely the best time of the year, and I'm just glad I could do one during the March Madness tournament, a March Madness story during the March Madness tournament. But if you liked what you saw in this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and comment below. And I'll see you guys next time with another video. This is Steven signing out.